bring in Tennessee Republican Senator Bill Hagerty now, Sandra, one of the lawmakers who was questioning the nominee today. Senator Hagerty, just a little bit more about Saule Omarova's background. She was a student in the Moscow State University back in the days of the Soviet Union. We've got a photograph of her in one of the lecture halls that we can put up on the screen. There you see her with the circle around her face there. She wrote a college thesis on Karl Marx, which apparently she has not turned over to your committee. She appears to have real concerns about how the American financial system works, calling it, as Hillary pointed out, a quintessential a-hole industry. You've got concerns about her leading the Treasury Department's banking regulator office.
My concerns are much more current than her past may have been growing up in Soviet Russia, being schooled in Moscow. That's not my concern nearly as much as it's a response to my questions today. When I queried her on whether she thinks rising gas prices in America are bad for Americans, she had a very difficult time answering that question. John, she just needs to come to Tennessee. You ask the single mother in Memphis who's filling up her gas tank whether it's harmful to have gas up $1, $1.50 a gallon. This is part and parcel of the Biden strategy to raise gas prices here in America. They're using this as a justification to basically make what would not otherwise survive market-based competition, these green energy investments, to increase the price of gas artificially, to disrupt the economy and distort the economy so that they can get better cost justification for their Green New Deal investments. And she could use the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency to make this far worse. You
know, Senator, obviously you could get some ripe comments from people filling up their tanks in Tennessee, but you can likely also get them in many other states across the nation. One of the other big points is what she said earlier this year about wanting the oil and gas industry to go out of business. Let's rewind the tape and play exactly what it was she said.
What I'm thinking about is primarily coal industry and oil and gas industry. A lot of the smaller players in that industry are going to probably go bankrupt in short order. At least we want them to go bankrupt if we want to tackle climate change, right?
Now, today before your committee, she said that she was guilty of poor phrasing. Her intent was exactly the opposite, that we need to step in and help these industries. But listen to what else she said earlier this year about financing the oil and gas industry.
The way we basically get rid of those carbon financiers is we starve them of their sources of capital. And it's not about some kind of dedicated affinity or special affinity with Green New Deal. It's about that. Give them a safe asset that pays more than U.S. Treasury bond and take them away from the current carbon financiers.
So she's talking there about drying up financing for oil and gas industries. She said that she was taken out of context, but that she also misspoke in that first clip. I'm not sure that you can do both of those things, be taken out of context and misspeak.
John, I agree with you. John, this is a movie we've already seen before. Just go back to the Obama-Biden administration, Operation Choke Point. What we're seeing is an opportunity for them to deploy exactly the same strategy. Remember, in the Obama-Biden administration, they used Operation Choke Point to starve out industries that were politically out of favor with the Democrats. Think about the gun industry. Today, it's the oil and gas industry, coal. That's what they're talking about starving out. That's what she's talking about starving out. And she would be responsible as comptroller of the currency for an army of 2,400 bank examiners, all of them under her control with $1 billion war chest, who can go into banks, put pressure on them to stop lending to any industry that they determine are out of favor.
You know, all 50 GOP senators are expected to vote against this nominee, so it's down to whether or not they can get all 50 Democratic senators and then Kamala Harris with a tiebreaker. The Democratic senator from Montana, Jon Tester, had concerns about Saule Omarova. He met with her prior to the hearing, but still had concerns after that, which he expressed in the hearing as well. But here's what he said after his meeting with Omarova. Quote, some of Dr. Omarova's past statements about the role of government in the financial system raise real concerns about her ability to impartially serve at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. And I'm looking forward to discussing them with her at her hearing. Do you think that the Democrats will get all 50 senators, or do you think after watching Senator Tester today, do you think he may vote this nominee down?
I think I heard Senator Tester's comments. I hope that Senator Tester will pick up the phone, call the White House, and tell them that he's had enough. with this sort of radical nominee, somebody that's just not appropriate for a position of this level of authority. I'm certain he's hearing from bankers in his home state, from businesses, certainly from businesses that are going to be targeted and put out of business, like the oil and gas industry in his state.
All right. Senator Bill Hagerty of the great state of Tennessee, good to talk with you. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. You know,